Welcome to the Brick Cave Media Podcast. My name is Sharon Skinner. I'm the author of Return to Honoria from Brick Cave Books. The Brick Cave Podcast is brought to you by the BC Book Club, Brick Cave Media's community portal for readers who love Brick Cave books and authors. You can join today and be a part of the Brick Cave story at Brick Cave Media's website, brickcave.media.
And my name is Bruce Davis, author of the forthcoming Silver Magic from Brick Cave Books. We're here tonight in the Brick Cave studio, located in the Brick Cave office, right here in beautiful downtown Mesa, Arizona.
Ooh, here we are. And here we
So,
are.
we just got back from the Tucson Festival of Books. Why don't we talk about that?
All right. I'm good for that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about, first
Talk
of
about
all,
the fact that we had a record weekend.
yeah, first of all, second of all, really, because first of all we had a weekend. We actually had a book festival. We all got to go someplace
In person, to see people.
and hang out and sell books and talk to readers and sign books,
Yes.
and it was pretty glorious, right?
It
I mean,
was.
even for my little old introverted self, I found it was really good. It was a great weekend. Yeah.
That's something I kind of wanted to talk about because you and I both know that most of our sales come from these kind of in-person events. But I found that the people we were talking to seemed to have this pent-up need to meet authors and to talk about books and to look at books and to be involved in that scene. And it was really fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was fun I don't know, for me it was a lot like when we did the San Francisco Comic-Con, and I would go do this panel, and the panels were like solo for me, right? They weren't panels, they were just me in a room, presentations, me in a room like hanging out talking to people. I didn't even have a PowerPoint or anything. A big room, fair number of people, and then they would just kind of traipse back in a group with me to the booth and buy books, and it was glorious, right? And that's what this felt like. Felt like people really wanted good books. They wanted to talk to us about books. They wanted to get a new book in their hands, and they kind of just wanted to be out and about, right?
Yeah, and particularly some of the younger people, we said, I'll sign that book for you. It's like, oh my goodness,
Right.
You really wrote this.
Yeah, there was a lot of excitement around that. The kids were great. Yeah. And there were a few parents that went, "Oh, she wrote the book," kind of thing, and the kids got real excited.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun, and letting them take a picture with us, and things like that. That's always fun.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
always fun.
And seeing a few people who had been there 2-3 years ago, and now we're coming back and very specifically looking for us.
Yeah.
That's always a kick.
That's always fun, and that they come specifically to get that next book, whatever books they don't already have,
Right.
Or those people who came on Saturday and got some books, and then came back Sunday to get
more books.
to buy more books because they started reading the books they bought on Saturday. I mean, come on, that's just glorious, right?
Yeah, that's what we're in this for, actually. It's
Right?
like, I mean, you can say all you want about writing for your own satisfaction or writing to tell the stories that you want to tell, but to have somebody shell out their beer money to buy your book is just total validation of everything you do.
They get excited about it. They want to invest in it. They're willing to, shell out some paper for that paper, and it's a nice feeling.
It is.
It's a really
Yes.
good feeling. Yeah. So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. So what kinds of things were readers saying to you about?
I got a lot of, when I would describe particularly the Magic Law series, I got a lot of, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. I heard a few of those.
This is like, oh my goodness, has anybody ever done that before?
Yeah.
And that was nice. I think they appreciated the accessibility, not just to us, but, to everybody in the booth.
Right. Right.
I mean, well, we sold more poetry books than I think we've ever sold in
Yeah, and
forever.
people were really engaged and asking really good questions and deep diving into the conversations. We were moving and shaking. We had Bob a hopping.
Yes,
right?
we did.
We
We
had
had
Bob a
him running
hopping.
back and forth,
Cashier Bob.
taking money.
Yeah, it was
No,
really
and a lot of the comments were very. You mean you're really out here? You really wrote these things, and now you're here talking to us.
right.
That
right.
kind of
got a lot of. You're local? Are you local?
yes,
You're in Arizona.
yes, not somebody from New York or California or something
Right.
like that. It's one of the things that has always drawn me to both the book fairs and to the science fiction conventions that I go to, is the accessibility of these authors that you pick up and you read, and then you get to go and talk to, and they're not celebrities or they're not, standoffish. They're like, oh yeah, I'll be happy to talk to you about my books or about anything else you want to talk about,
Right? Yeah, let's sit down and have a chat.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the things that I was saying to somebody the other day about Tucson is that they always make it more intimate. They set it up for that specifically. And one of the things that I like about it is that when I'm doing like those talks, I never do a reading. I always just get in the room and start having conversations because there are always other writers in the room, and you can have these really awesome conversations about books and writing and craft and deep dives into topics like research and
Yes.
world building.
Absolutely. And those are the things that for me, okay, in the world I live in, most of the time, we have that same kind of conversation, but it's always about pathology or about physiology or about, we go to morning report every day at 7 and we bring up, oh, here's the sickest patient on the ward, and let's just do a deep dive into why is this and why is that. And it's interesting and it's fun because that's what I like.
Right.
But then to go someplace else and talk to smart people about writing craft or about history or about, some science fiction author that we both admire is just a totally different thing, but it's the same flavor. I'm talking to somebody who really understands where I'm coming from, what we're talking about, and has a love of this subject just like I do.
Yeah, it's that deep connection that you can make with other people.
Right.
It's having community. It's having people who are like you. It's all of that, right? So what were the most popular books at the festival?
Well, I believe
I wonder.
that the most popular seller was Gold Magic or Silver. Oh, Platinum Magic.
Yeah.
Platinum Magic, right here.
Bruce
by my
Davis
side, to
book.
be signed. But the second most by maybe one book was Healer's Legacy
It's
by.
the book that keeps on just
keeps
trucking.
on giving.
It just keeps on going.
But you know what? We had Marcus Campbell in the booth.
Yep.
Marcus was amazing.
He's
Marcus
smart. Yeah. And
Marcus is a great guy, but he just leaned into this whole thing.
yeah, and
And it wasn't like, this is my first time, I don't really know what's going on. He was just into this.
yeah, and he had these deep conversations with people about the topics that he was writing about in his book and why he wrote it. And I mean, he really understands his why at a really deep level. It was fascinating to watch people get just engrossed with him in those conversations.
I was also impressed with Patrick Hare.
Love
I'd
Patrick.
met a couple of times before, and Patrick's very self-contained.
Yes, he is.
And he's just kind of in himself.
Yes.
And to see him kind of come out and start engaging with these people and talk about his book, talk about Bill's books, talk about Marcus's books, even though they weren't there in the booth, was really kind of nice.
Right.
I don't know how he felt about it, but it was like,
I think
hey,
he
man,
had a good
you're,
time.
You're really getting out there and getting into this.
Yeah, I think he had a really good time. And it kind of goes back to when he used to be on the poetry circuit when we were doing slam. And he was one of the funniest. He is one of the funniest poets I know, especially when he does his spoken word. And he was on slam teams, and he was, he's really good at that. And he gets a little bit quieter. I'm introverted. He's really tends to be toward
Well,
introversion.
and it's different when you're doing slam. You're up there.
You're on
and
the stage.
That's what you're
you're
doing.
performing.
You're performing.
Right. No, he really embraced
Being in the
this.
booth and having conversations with real people.
Yeah.
I could tell that's not his comfort zone, and he really came out. I got to know him better than I had, I think I met him 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably. It sounds about right. Yeah.
And it was like, okay, this guy's really super introvert, and he's like pulling teeth, and it was fun. Yeah. I really enjoyed being in the booth with him.
Well, and let's talk. I enjoyed the whole mix. I mean, Adam Marsh, Mariner's Wake,
yes,
which is book number 3 on the list of big sellers. He did an amazing job as well. I mean, he's engaging. He's smart. He wrote a really good book. He fits right in.
You read a really good book,
but he fits right in with us,
yeah,
right?
No,
because of all of those things.
And he and I had some side conversations that I enjoyed a great deal, and to see him kind of get his footing. Mm-hmm. I mean, I really could identify with that because my first few times out were very, very awkward, as you well know.
You picked it up quick, though.
He did too.
Yeah, he did.
And by the end of the festival, he had his pitch down, and he was.
It takes time. It's even with a new book. As much as I do this, when I have a new book, the pitch always takes time to hone.
To kind of develop and figure out how you're going to sell this thing.
And polish it and get it to where people are getting it. And it's not even so much about it's a sales tool. It's about communicating what the story is to people in a way that they get it. Because as soon as that happens, they're like, yeah, I want a copy of that book. I want to read that book.
I want to read that book. I want to find out. I mean, I'm intrigued by what you're saying. I want to find out what this is about.
Right.
I get it. It's...
So we had a number of return visitors.
I had half a dozen people at least who said, "Oh yeah, I bought those 2 last year. Now I want to buy these 2."
Right.
I was like,
You're on. I had a number of people who were very excited to get
the third book in your series,
of Exiles, and some people who actually didn't have Matriarchs yet because the last time we were there,
Matriarchs was new the last time we were there.
Well, I don't even know if we had it out when we were there the last time. Did we?
I think we did.
Okay, we did,
mean,
but it was
you had big
but
sales.
Not everybody comes
at LA Times with Matriarchs.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah,
but it was out for TFOB as well.
Yeah. But yeah, that's always fun. The return visitors and the ones who are like, "Oh, I don't have this one, and I don't have this one, and I don't have this one. It's a Brick Cave book I need to have. Collect them all."
One young woman
Collect
who came
them
in
all.
and says, "Well, yeah, I'll buy that one. Well, maybe I should get all 3 of those.
Right?
Maybe I should get that one too." Pretty sure she's up to like 7 books, and it's like,
collect them all. They're all good. Why not? Yeah. So that was, it was fun. It was fun to get out and have that happen again. It was